property owner, neighboring property owner, someone from the community, the applicant, the owner. So I'll start with John Jaffe.
Yes, I'm present, and I'm one of the owners of City West Development of the property in question.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Thank you.
I see that we have Kate Meehan here from the planning department. Welcome, Kate.
Good morning.
And then I have someone under Jody.
Yes, Jody Funky. I am also part owner in the City West Development.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Mhm.
And then someone under Springhouse Architects.
Hi, I'm Sherry Scott, the architect, but not the civil engineer.
Okay, got it. And is Sherry spelled with an S or a C?
SHERI.
Okay, great. Are we expecting anyone else to join us here on the applicant owner side before we begin?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
The civil engineer was supposed to be here as well.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay. Would you all like to get started? As people try to join the meetings, I will typically just let them in if the meeting's already in progress. So would you all like to wait or try to contact that person, or would you like to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, I'm gonna just send them a quick text, and then we can go ahead and get started.
Okay, great. I have a script I need to go through here anyway. That takes a couple of minutes, and so, like I said, if we can go ahead and get started, and then if he wants to join midway, I'll let him in when I see that he's trying to get in. So this is the February 26, 2025 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. Again, my name is David Sturkey. I'll be presiding over the hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20250004. That's 1502 East Laurel Park Drive. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. For our purposes here today, I'll allow each of the people, the owners and architect, to tell me about the project, any background they think is important, what exactly it is they're proposing, the relief that they're requesting, or the relief that is necessary, and then, of course, why they believe that relief is appropriate for this property. One of you can speak, all of you can speak, however you want to orient that presentation is completely up to you. I'll allow you all to decide how you want to do that. If we did have anyone here from the general public, they would have an opportunity to speak after you all had presented your case. I'll hear from the planning department if they would like to provide any testimony in addition to their staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to that testimony offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those issues on the fly, but to the extent there is a defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, the last thing I need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, asking any questions, making any comments, really doing anything other than just strictly observing, then the zoning code requires that I swear you in. So if that's you, if you could please take yourself off of mute now. I'll need everyone to raise their right hand and to answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Great. Thanks, everyone. All right. Who's going to take the lead here on the applicant's presentation?
I guess I can do that.
Okay, great. The floor is yours.
So, I'm sorry.
I said, great. The floor is yours.
Okay, sorry. So basically what we're doing is the City West neighborhood in the West End. We are finishing building that out. It was started, I believe, in the late 90s, early 2000s, where there were several townhomes built there, I believe with CMHA and Dries. And then it was left vacant. I guess that part of that has been left vacant for many years. And so we're just finishing that out. So basically what we're here today is to just ask for similar setback as what side setback as what the previous buildings had. In a nutshell, one, I think that I had presented, and I don't know if you have access to the information that we had presented in the application. Okay,
Yep.
good. So I took some pictures of the other buildings. I think one in particular was around 2 feet, maybe a little less than 2 feet side setback. And then we sent in, the civil engineer had put together some drawings that showed what one of the buildings that are next to it, what the side setback is that. And so we're just asking for a variance to 2 feet instead of the 5 feet to allow us to just match what's already there.
Okay. So you're saying all the existing development has the same, if not smaller setbacks than the one you're proposing for this development, is that right?
Not everyone seems to be a little different. Each building there seems to be a little different. So it's kind of across the board. It's kind of like 2 feet to three, some are 3 feet, some are 4 feet. So it's just all over the place.
Gotcha. Let me ask this then. Would you say that the proposed setbacks for this project is consistent and compatible generally with the existing development at City West?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Great. And let's see, how many, so will these are all be connected townhomes, and so we're really just talking about, is it one side yard setback or is it the side yard setback on either side of the townhomes?
No, it's just one of them. It's the one that's closest to the road.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Anything else you'd like to say about the project?
No, I mean, I guess I do have a question about the project because we will run into this on almost every house or almost every building. So it's like, let's say we get through this one and we've submitted for one lot, lot 99. This because this is the first building that we'll be doing that needs this, but there will be other ones that will also need this. So will we need to go through this process every single time?
That may be a better question for the planning department. My understanding is that if you have if you're applying for a permit for all of them at the same
Okay.
time, then we can handle them at the same time. But if you're piecemealing each permit application over the course of several years, that as you go for each individual permit, you'll need to have an individual zoning hearing.
Okay. Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and
Is
David,
that-
just to add on to that, if I could, you mentioned in your opening that what is the request for? Why do we need it, and is it necessary? It is necessary. We've got 69 or 70 infill lots to complete this development, and without that variance, it would be conducive. We're really working with a pretty narrow margin here. As was the previous developer, which I believe was Dries. So I would put it in the necessary category just for your consideration for the plans for us to be able to utilize the space the way that CMHA wanted us to utilize it. So just to put that note in addressing those opening remarks, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you'd like to say about the project, or why you think this should be approved from anyone?
Well, I would add on to that our hearts are in it. We love the city of Cincinnati, and Jody, we won the bid from against other bidders for Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority, and so it is a neighborhood improvement. So I just kind of want to add on to that again, that we've been working on this for a couple of years, and I don't know if I made the assumption that the variance was already there, but going through all the right channels and protocols, obviously we want to do that, and we just love to partner with you guys on this to get that done. It seems like a reasonable request, but please, you guys take the floor and ask us anything you need to seek any clarification you need for what we're trying to do. But it seems pretty simple from my vantage point. But of course, I have that bias as we want to move forward and get this up and running for everyone in the city, all the stakeholders locally.
Sure. Yeah, and this may be a case where a variance was approved for this in the original sort of development, and it may have just expired if you're saying that these first were approved in the 90s or even the aughts. sometimes those approvals just expire. That's something I can look into on the back end as well.
Okay.
But I don't have any other questions. I want to confirm, Kate, that my statement about future variances and handling those individually as opposed to collectively was accurate. Kate, do you know?
I would agree. I think, typically these would be handled, if they come in, individually, yes, that's how we would handle them. But if they, several were to come in at one time, we might be able to, handle that relief, for several, parcels at once. But yes, I think if they're going to come in though, in like five or groupings of 5 or 6, we probably would need to have a hearing for each one. That's also something I could check in with our zoning administrator about. But to the
Yeah.
best of my knowledge, that's how I would understand it.
Yeah, Ms. Funky, as you're getting ready to, apply for those or develop those other lots, I would just reach out to Emily A. House, who Kate mentioned is the zoning administrator, and ask her what would be the most efficient way to move forward. I would like, Kate, at this point, why don't you go ahead, if there's anything you wanted to add testimony wise in addition to your staff report, let's go ahead and get that on the record.
Sure. Thank you. So I would just, I think what's already been said, add to the narrative that clearly kind of doing a street view survey of this area. Many of the townhomes do sit very close to the corner. I think I used the KJUS measuring tool and found that yes, many of them are closer than 5 feet. They might be 2, 3, 4. And that does seem to be the predominant pattern throughout this development. So I think the request certainly is not unreasonable and pretty much fits in with the existing conditions in the City West development.
Okay, great. Thanks, Kate. Appreciate your
Mhm.
testimony and your work on the staff report.
Sure.
I'll turn it back. I don't have any more questions. I'll turn it back over to the applicants here. Anything you want to say in closing or otherwise before we adjourn?
I don't have any more information. I think that that you have everything that we have, and just if any questions come up, obviously we're here to answer them.
Okay.
I would concur with that. I appreciate you guys listening to our request, and I love when I hear the word reasonable or the opposite of it not being unreasonable. So thank you for that. That's good work, and I appreciate you doing the legwork to do that very much.
Okay, great. Let's leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials and the staff reports. I'm familiar with this development in this particular area. And I have to say that I agree with the arguments of the applicant and the findings of the staff report. I think this is reasonable. I think it's obviously compatible with the neighborhood that has similar setbacks. I think there's public and private benefits and minimal, if not zero, adverse impacts as a result of this variance request. And so based on all of that, and based on the testimony that I heard here today, I am going to approve the application. I think it would be unreasonable to strictly enforce the zoning code of this project. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. I mentioned at the beginning, I think I mentioned at the beginning, it typically takes about 2 weeks. I should be able to get that out to you sooner though. And so as soon as I finish the decision, which is a written decision, I will, which is the formal approval is the written decision. I'll put that into a PDF. I'll email it to everybody in the hearing here today. So you all have a copy of that really just moments after it's complete. As soon as you have that, Kate can approve the zoning permitting on her end and you all can take the next steps. Any questions about any of them?
Great. No, I don't have a question, but I really appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, quite efficient and expedited manner. Really do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Great. Fantastic. Well, if you have any questions moving forward, feel free to reach out to me here. I'm sure Kate would also be happy to answer questions. Or if you just like a status update on the decision, I'm happy to provide that as well, but I will have that out to you within the next week or two.
Okay.
Otherwise, good luck with the project. Thank you all again for your time, and we're